Adam here from the Walser Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I have the new 2024 Hyundai Sonata SEL in the all-wheel drive. So we'll look at the interior, some of the stuff on the outside, and then go for a spin around and see what it's like out on the open road. Okay, so now we're behind the wheel of the SEL, and let's start off with a few interior things before we get going. So this one is the base model where it all starts, and you still get so much equipment in here. Now we've got our smaller 4.2-inch display here in the center, so that's going to tell you things like your trip computer, some of your tire pressure, or your adaptive cruise control. There's a bunch of stuff that's housed right in there, and it makes it very convenient for when you're on the road to see that pertinent information. Now on the other side, we have our 12.3-inch display, and that's going to give you things like wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's got all of your infotainment settings in here. It's very easy to use, very responsive, and you can even do this cool thing where you swipe down on the screen, so it's kind of like your mobile device that you're used to. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but mostly I'm going to keep the Apple CarPlay going so I can text message, I can use Google Maps, Spotify, all of that when I'm on the road to help keep my focus on the road ahead. So to put this vehicle in drive now, you actually just click on the stalk here. You'll hear a beep when you go into drive or reverse. So that frees up a bunch of space in here, and it makes it better for your cup holder, for storing your phone here or anything else. That's pretty nice that it does give you all that extra space. Now, the 24 Hyundai Sonata did get a full refresh here. So inside, outside looks totally different as well. So on the exterior up front on the SEL, you are going to get that cool LED light bar that runs up front. It looks really kind of menacing at night, especially with the black exterior. This one in this kind of lighter gray looks really cool as well. And you're going to have LED headlights as well as LED taillights out back. So the design does bring this vehicle, I think, a little more forward into the future and kind of lines up more with Hyundai's new design language. Now, the biggest change for me though is this comes standard in front wheel drive, but the one we have here today is the all-wheel drive model. So now they give you the option to compete with things like maybe the Subaru Legacy or the Nissan Altima, and that they offer an all-wheel drive system. But this one with the 2.5-liter four-cylinder is still going to get you 34 miles per gallon on the highway. So the fuel economy is pretty great when you're looking at the all-wheel drive still with the SEL. Now, a few other things as of now, there is a hybrid version as well that we haven't quite seen yet, but the Sonata will come in this SEL trim as well. There's going to be an N-line trim. So that's going to give you about 100 more horsepower out of that turbocharged engine. It adds a ton of equipment, and this one as well, there is a convenience package. So if you want a little bit more equipment without bumping up to the N-line, that would be one way to go. But when you do go to the N-line, you can't get all-wheel drive. So you can only get that with the smaller 2.5 engine. So a few other creature comforts in here. These seats are really cool. There's kind of a center stripe that runs up them. They're cloth, but they are heated. So what that means is they're not going to get super hot in the summertime, and in the winter, you just click here. You can hear there's 3 different settings, and it heats up really quickly, and they're very comfortable. This one is also a power seat on the driver's side here, and you also are going to have power lumbar. Now, the steering wheel is changed similar to the Kona and a few other 24s in the lineup here. You've got a few different settings that you can control on the steering wheel. So there's your paddle shifters behind, because this is an 8-speed automatic. And on the left side, you're going to have things like your adaptive cruise control or some of your other safety features. And then on the right side, there's also a voice control button. So when I've got my Apple CarPlay paired up, I can click that little button, and that's actually going to give me Siri. So again, it's safe. My focus is on the road ahead, and I'm not messing with my phone when I'm on the go. All right, so now that we're out on the road here, you put your foot down and it goes pretty good. But the main point of this Sonata with the smaller engine, if you want more get up and go, obviously the turbo is going to be the better choice there, but this is going to be a very fuel efficient vehicle, and the Sonata does provide quite a bit of size inside. You don't maybe need to jump up to a crossover SUV where you're going to cut your fuel economy down maybe a lot. By staying with this one and getting that 34 mpg and the rear legroom in here, I was actually very surprised. When I crawled into the back, there was plenty of headroom. I had more than enough knee space for where I was even comfortably driving, and the trunk is huge. You can easily put 4 sets of golf clubs back there and put 4 adults in the car, and everyone would be comfortable. Now, there is a few other things like a pass-through in the back, and there's these convenient little handles you can use if you're putting groceries back there. So there is still a lot of usability out of this sedan. But let's focus on the ride and drive. Like I said, there's a ton of safety features in here, whether that's blind spot monitoring, that adaptive cruise control system. There's also emergency braking. So maybe if I'm not paying attention for a second and the vehicle in front of me slams on the brakes, it will notify me of that. But it's extremely quiet and comfortable. all these new cars nowadays obviously are going to be convenient and they're going to be comfortable, but the ride and drive is really kind of going to be the separating factor, right? Or what equipment comes standard on this one? Wireless Apple CarPlay, adaptive cruise control, heated seats, that's all standard on the base model. Plus, really the only addition this one had would be the all-wheel drive system. So you're getting all that equipment and technology, plus a really comfortable ride and drive out on the road. And you know what I think about when I'm driving around is 95% of the time, how are you going to be using the vehicle? Is it just you in the car? Do you have the kids or the family in the vehicle? I think this provides a lot of space and comfort. I think the ride is really nice. Like I said, I like some of the smaller wheels sometimes, so you got a little bit more side profile on the tire, and it just provides a little bit more comfort. So I love the design of these wheels, and the fact that you get a little bit more sidewall to make it more comfortable, I think is really a win-win there. But overall, it's really good. Most of the time it is going to be in front wheel drive to help you get the best possible fuel economy, and then if it senses any slipping or inclement weather, it will pick up for that all-wheel drive system and help you out there. So it's not something you have to switch back and forth. All-wheel drive is always there. It's always giving you a peace of mind that yes, it's comfortable, yes, it's very safe, and yes, you do get a lot of technology and comforts in here. Okay, so now that we did a little bit of driving around, like I said, what do I like about the 24 Sonata? I like that it comes standard with so much equipment. Wireless Apple CarPlay and heated seats is usually an upgrade in most models. Plus, I like the layout of the dash in here. The materials are really nice. All the air vents and stuff. It looks like an upscale model of something it's trying to be, if that makes sense. This seems like it almost competes more with German luxury sedans than it would with some of the other competitors based on the design and the layout in here. It's a gorgeous cabin. There's a lot of equipment and style on the exterior as well. So I think you gotta get out, take one for a spin, and see what you think. So that was just a quick look at the new 24 Sonata SEL. Now, if you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive for yourself, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by either one of our Hyundai stores. We'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.